This is Sunday Live with Jeff Koinange and Olive Barrows.
Tonight, to get just Olive Barrows, my partner in crime, has begun his Christmas festivities, but he will be here on Wednesday for Jeff Koinange Live. But there is plenty ahead that you have to look forward to. We begin with the highlights. Wanted for prosecution. EACC recommends prosecution of Deputy Speaker Gladys Boss and 2 former governors over loss of public funds.
I am a man on a mission. I don't have the luxury to retreat or to surrender.
I will silence naysayers. President Ruto vows to push on with his projects to transform the country and shame critics. Tragic road crashes. 9 people killed in 2 separate road accidents in Bomet. To extend or not to extend. Government tight-lipped on oil importation deal, barely 2 weeks to the expiry of the current contract. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Belinda Adhiambo. Tonight, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission is recommending the prosecution of high-profile suspects, including current and former public officials, in files the agency has forwarded to the Director of Public Prosecutions. The anti-graft body, in its 3rd quarterly report, details investigations into counties and state officials, detailing money trails and proxy companies through which public money was siphoned. Ayub Abdikadir kicks us off on Sunday Live tonight.
Service the existing vehicles.
Former Wajir County Governor Mohamed Abdi Mahmoud, his wife Khaira Omar Maalim, and daughter Farhia Abdi Mahmoud are wanted for prosecution over abuse of office and conflict of interest involving 902.4 million Kenya shillings, involving 12 companies linked to the family in the financial year 2017-18 by the EACC. The Commission, in its 3rd quarterly report covering the period between 1st July and 30th September 2024, also seeks to prosecute National Assembly Deputy Speaker Gladys Boss of alleged irregular procurement of fully furnished residential property for the Chief Justice during her tenure as the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary. She is wanted alongside former Director of Supply Chain Management of the Judiciary, former Director of Finance at the Judiciary, and 3 members of the Judiciary Tender Committee. They are also wanted for alleged irregular payments for the construction of prefabricated courts by the Judicial Service Commission. The anti-graft body is also targeting former Elgeyo Marakwet County Governor Alex Tolgos, his political advisor, County Procurement Manager, the Chief Officer for Health for conflict of interest, and procurement irregularities in the award of tender for the supply and delivery of petroleum products through Copcom Petroleum Limited, associated with the governor, which despite not qualifying ended up being the supplier, supplying the county government of Elgeyo Marakwet for 3 financial years. The company also made supplies to health facilities run by the county and was paid 1.7 million Kenya shillings. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission also wants Joel Mutambo Kilonzi, the regional accountant for the Kenya Rural Roads Authority, and who has previously served in Turkana County for conflict of interest, amounting to Kenya shillings 108.5 million. His wife Felicitas Ndunga is also implicated by the commission. Anthony Akolo Mukembo, a senior accountant with the agency at the Nairobi headquarters, and his wife Caroline Nanjala Walubengo are also wanted for conflict of interest by EACC. On the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission's radar is also Esther Wanjiru Shege, an accountant with the Kenya Rural Roads Authority in Kajiado County, and her husband Robert Kimodo Masharia for conflict of interest involving 18 million Kenya shillings, The three officials wanted for a total of 273.2 million Kenya shillings by EACC, which is investigating further 9 officials from the Kenya Rural Roads Authority. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission says the monetary value of the files forwarded to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions is 2,048,392,409. Ayub Abdikadir, Citizen TV.
9 people have been confirmed dead, while more than 25 others were critically injured in 2 separate road accidents along the Bomet-Narok Highway on Saturday night. The number of deaths in a crash that involved a school bus belonging to Mesabisabi Secondary School that was carrying SDA church members who were returning from a seminar has risen to 7. And that is after 1 more person succumbed in hospital. The school bus collided head-on with a matatu that was heading towards Narok at the Olonin Bridge. In a separate incident, the same night, 2 people died on the spot at Kipi Sarwet area on the Bomet-Narok Highway, again in a head-on collision involving a boda and a bus belonging to the Kisi Classic Company.
Mimi sikujua, nilikuwa ninalala tu hivi. Sasa kushtukia nikasikia mlio wa gari. Kwa hivyo mimi sikujua. Uliposikia tukitoka huko tukapata gari imegonga ingine. Tunakuja huko Jumapili, leo ndio wakati tunarudi nyumbani. Naona gari ilifika hapa inaanza kuyunga kwa para. Yunga ikagonga mahali. Tulikuwa watu 30.
Basi ilikuwa inatoka Nairobi na sisi tulikuwa tunatoka Kisii. Ilipita juu yetu. Wengine walikufa papo hapo. Na sisi Mungu ametujalia tuko na uhai. Sasa tunaendelea kushughulikiwa na hospitali.
President William Ruto has vowed to silence naysayers by implementing development projects that will transform the country. Speaking in Taita Taveta County, the president cautioned Kenyans against negativity, saying the country needs the goodwill of all Kenyans to progress. Stephen Leto has those details.
Soul Harvest Church in Taita Taveta County played host to President William Ruto, was here for the Sunday church service. Accompanied by leaders from Taita Taveta, President Ruto called on Kenyans to shelve their negativity towards his administration, saying the country needs to unite to achieve the much-needed development projects.
Let us stop the spirit of negativity in our country. We cannot build this nation on falsehood, on fake news, on disinformation, on propaganda. You cannot hate your country so much to the extent that you want it to fail.
The president told the congregation that his administration is determined to transform the country through development and attainment of its manifesto.
This country is going to be great. We are going to transform this nation. Really, ya shetani, ati Kenya inarudi nyuma, ati Kenya inapotea. Hiyo ni ya shetani wewe kwa.
President William Ruto's administration has encountered hurdles and opposition from a section of Kenyans who have accused him of dropping the ball and failing to steady the country's economy. But President Ruto today told Kenyans that he will not surrender.
I am a man on a mission. I don't have the luxury to retreat or to surrender. Because we must change this country.
Elsewhere in Turkana County, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki urged Kenyans to remain patient and give President Ruto a chance to deliver his promises.
We must continue trusting God. We must continue working hard as government and as the people of Kenya because the same God who has helped us to stabilize the general indicators of economic situation will help us travel the remaining journey.
Kindiki, who attended the church service in Lodwar, also affirmed the government's commitment in restoring absolute peace in the North Rift region that has seen prolonged banditry and insecurity in the borders of Turkana, West Pokot, Marakwet, Baringo and Samburu.
Nimefurahia kusikia kwamba hapa Lodwar kuna watu kutoka sehemu mbalimbali katika taifa la Kenya wanatafuta riziki hapa na wanaishi kwa amani na watu ya jamii ya Turkana.
Stephen Leto, Citizen TV.
President William Ruto has come under sharp criticism from his former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and his allies over what they term as uncontained public anger. Gachagua also accuses his former boss of disregarding and showing disrespect to a region that propelled him to power. As you'll hear now from Kamau Mwangi, Gachagua allies are warning any leader from the central region against taking up any appointment positions in the Kenya Kwanza administration.
Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua showed up in his Nyeri backyard for the first time since his ouster from office, attending Sunday service at the Kinunga Baptist Church in Mukurweini. And it is here that the former DP took issue with his former boss for what he termed as a display of anger in public, asking that he takes criticism positively.
Hakuna haja ya kutukana raia. Hao wananchi wakitoa maoni yao, wewe sikiza tu. Hata kama upendi, hakuna haja kusema wako na mapepo, kwa sababu hakuna haja. There's no need. Nyinyi mko na mapepo? Sasa hakuna haja. Kama ni maneno ya ng'ombe unasema hii watu ni stupid, nini, hakuna haja kutukana watu.
Gachagua, who accuses Ruto of being thankless to a people that largely bought into his agenda, maintains that it has been an eyesore to listen to a man meant to be the country's symbol of national unity, not taking alternative opinions kindly.
Hata juzi naona wahubiri wanatukano, ati wengine hawajasoma. Sasa some of us have no capacity to know yule mhubiri amesoma na hajasoma. There is no need to use vulgar language. Just respect the people of Kenya because it's the right thing to do.
Unajua tunakumbuka jinsi mlivyokuja kwetu. Wewe na rais, mlikuwa watu wanyenyekevu, mlikuwa mnatuomba kura. Sasa kila kitu ni kifua. Ng'ombe na si ya mtu idungwe.
And while maintaining that government was responsible for the chaos that erupted at a funeral in Limuru, Gachagua and his allies have called out the National Police Service to prosecute those behind the attack.
Why are you not arresting them and taking them to court? We know, of course, because walipangwa na serikali. Lakini siku moja bwana kaja utajibu hiyo swali. One day.
Mamas, however, that some cabinet secretaries who served under former President Uhuru Kenyatta will be making a comeback to the cabinet, with 2 cabinet slots up for grabs, especially that of the interior docket. Gachagua allies are warning of repercussions to anyone who would assume any slot.
Kama kuna kiti kitaletwa Nyeri, ni kiti kimoja cha president. Ama nyinyi mnasema gani? Kama kuna kiti, nimesikia kuna viti inatafutwa, sijui ati interior, sijui mawaziri. Sisi nyinyi mnataka mawaziri? Yani tunyang'anywe Rigathi akiwa deputy president, tuletewe mawaziri.
It's one act against this community that is never forgiven. And once you do it, there is no remedy. The matter is closed. The mountain has moved on, though humiliated and in shame.
The mountain, according to Gachagua, will only have to wait till the end of January 2025 for directions towards its political future. Kamau Mwangi, Citizen TV, Ishamara, Mukurweini, Nyeri County.
And those are not the only critics of the president. Opposition leaders, led by Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka, have continued castigating the government, accusing it of perpetuating autocratic leadership. Speaking at the African Independent Pentecostal Church of Africa in Gatundu South, Kiambu County, the leaders claimed that the constitution is continuously being violated by President William Ruto's government. They reaffirmed their commitment to forming a new political alliance governments. Additionally, they weighed in on the recent meeting between President Ruto and his predecessor Uhuru Kenyatta, describing it as a wise and necessary intervention by the former president for the country's well-being.
Naona watu wengi walipiga duru. Mimi namuelewa sana ndugu yangu Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta alitoa taarifa na Ruto akatoa taarifa yake. Wote wawili walipokutana hapa Ishaweri, because as a fourth president ni lazima akae juu ya hawa wengine. Na sio kwamba namtetea, lakini namuelewa.
Now, to defenders of government projects, and the National Assembly's Majority Leader, Kimani Ichung'wah, has faulted leaders for criticizing the newly rolled out universal health coverage under the Social Health Authority. Kimani says those castigating aspersions on SHA are insincere and are out to deceive Kenyans. He spoke as he led a renewed push to have Kenyans across the country register for SHA that has been riddled with challenges since its rollout in October this year.
The Majority Leader, together with others, were in Kakamega and Nandi counties, where they advanced the SHA gospel. The leaders were quick to call out those they say are out to deny Kenyans the benefits of universal health coverage through SHA.
Hiyo ni kitu ya kuambia tusijisajili. And I want to agree, those who are misleading others are one, they were the principal beneficiaries of the theft and corruption that pervaded under NHIF. Two, there are people who do not want the ordinary mwananchi to benefit because they have medical covers in Nairobi and elsewhere. Naona mtu amejazana huko kwa mtandao, msijisajili, hii SHIF ni ya uongo.
The sentiments were shared by President William Ruto's aide Farouk Kibet, who urged residents to register en masse.
Maneno ya SHA, nyinyi watu ya nyumbani, register hii kitu inaitwa SHA. Wacheni siasa. Yule mtu hajawahi kuwa mgonjwa anaweza kuzungumza maneno maofu kuhusu SHA. Mimi naomba kitu moja tu, chungeni. Wale wamekamilisha kuwa number 1 katika kuregister SHA ndio wanafanyia siasa wale wajarejereza.
Other leaders from the two counties also joined in the effort to get more people onboarded to SHA.
Watu wajitokeze kwa wingi, waende wajiandikishe kwa hii program ya Social Health Authority SHA.
Siku mbili peke yake we've been able to register over 3,000 residents kwa hiyo. Tutasaidiana na Mheshimiwa Rais kuona kwamba watu wetu wamekuwa registered. Hiyo mpango lazima tuisupport. Wacheni ukora ya watu wanaodanganya hapa kwamba usiregister SHA na yeye ako na insurance ya Jubilee, akigonjeka yeye ataenda Aga Hospital. Wewe unaenda wapi?
The push for registration into SHA comes amidst a not so rosy evaluation of the operations of the authority by the private healthcare providers. A report by Rural and Urban Private Hospitals Associations of Kenya, RUFA, showed that the hospitals were still experiencing challenges accessing the SHA systems, posing a significant hurdle for the rollout. In the meantime, the health sector is just days away from another doctor's strike. KMPDU's strike notice is about to lapse, and the union says it is all systems go for the strike that is set to start on the 20th of this month.
Kuja tarehe 22 tunaambia Wakenya mkuwe tayari, mjitayarishe, mtafute mahali mtaenda kupata matibabu kwa sababu mahospitali zote za umma na pia private facilities, all the faith-based hospitals are going to be closed.
From Friday 19th, we are asking doctors across the country, when we're starting with Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital, Kenyatta National Referral Hospital, Kenyatta University Teaching and Referral Hospital, and all the counties, that doctors should start discharging patients from 19th, so that on the midnight of 22nd, we don't lose patients. so that the government can actually take care of these particular patients. Because we have given enough notice, and it is the government that is non-responsive.
Doctors are going on strike to demand, amongst other things, the payment of their basic salary arrears, the payment of interns' salaries, as well as the full implementation of the return to work formula signed in May this year following their 56 days strike. Brenda Wanga, Citizen TV.
The government is weighing options as to whether to extend the government-to-government fuel purchase agreement that lapses end of this month. The initiative, which sought to reduce dollar demand and ease pressure on the Kenya shilling during the global dollar shortage, saw the country receive fuel products on credit, a shift from the previous transactions that required immediate payment. Seth Olale has that report.
31st December 2024 marks the end of the government-to-government fuel purchase agreement. With only a fortnight remaining to the lapse of the deal with 3 major importing oil-producing entities, there is uncertainty as to whether the government will extend or abort the arrangement initially aimed at reducing the dollar demand and ease the pressure on the Kenyan shilling occasioned during the global dollar shortage.
And the plans from the government are
According to Energy Cabinet Secretary Opiyo Wandayi, the fate of the G2G fuel purchase arrangement lies with an ongoing interministerial deliberations being currently spearheaded by the Treasury. The intersectoral high-level discussions will culminate in an announcement by the Cabinet Secretary for Treasury and his energy counterpart before the G2G deal expires on 31st December.
I'm happy to report that we have been able to put in place improvements in the efficiencies, of our operations across the supply chain.
The G2G deal involves selected international oil companies supplying products to a lead oil marketing company in Kenya. It is estimated that the depreciation rate fell from 4.2% in April 2023 when the deal came into force to 1.4% in June 2023, with the rate further reducing to 0.4% in August 2024.
The eventual pump prices of petroleum products are determined by largely 3 factors. One is, of course, the landed cost.
The G2G arrangement, which saw the country receive fuel products on credit, is a shift from the previous transactions that required immediate payment and was initially planned to run for 9 months from April 2023, but was later extended by 12 months to December 2024. Seth Olale, Citizen TV.
We take a break on Sunday Live. Thank you for staying with us on Sunday Live. The uptake of family planning in many parts of the country remains a female-driven initiative, with men shying away from partaking in this endeavor. However, a 55-year-old father of 3 in Kwale is bucking the trend by not only preaching the gospel, but actively partaking of a permanent family planning method. Brenda Wanga spoke to Richard Kilundo, one of only 4 men from Kwale and Kilifi to have undergone a vasectomy in the last 2 years.
It is clinic day at Lungalunga Sub-County Health Facility, and a sprinkling of men are accompanying their wives as they bring their young ones for their vaccinations and antenatal care.
We have some camps like this year.
Stephen is amongst those who make this trip with his young wife to ensure that the 3-week-old daughter has her routine checkup. But beside that mandatory check, they are here to access family planning services for Wanza.
Fundi garage. Na nilionelea mapato wangu madogo na watoto wangu bado wako wawili, lakini kaona mapato wangu madogo sitaweza kuamudu kumpeleka shule. Huyu mwingine naye amefikia nipeleke shule, ndio inabidi nipange uzazi na mke wangu, tulielewana.
Stephen is one of a handful of men who are actively involved in planning their families. Most of the men, however, often opt for short-term family planning methods like condom use. Richard Kilundo is one of 2 men from Kwale County who chose a more permanent family planning method, vasectomy. The practicing nurse at this facility and father of 3 grown children says this decision was a no-brainer for him.
After my firstborn had a kid, and I thought, now this is not the right time for me to have a kid. That kid that I will have after my firstborn, my first grandson or granddaughter, na mimi nipate mtoto baadaye, alafu anakuja kuita ndugu yake, anakuja kuita mjomba wake ama nani yake na ni mdogo kumliko, nikaona hiyo haiendi sawa.
It has been 3 months since he underwent the procedure and he says he has no regrets.
No, I don't regret. I don't regret. Because ningekuwa sijachukua hilo wazo ambalo nilikuwa nalo, angekuwa naumia ni mke wangu mpaka saa hizi. Angekuwa bado anaendelea kumeza vidonge ambavyo vinamdhuru kiafya. Hiyo bado unajua afya nayo tukimdhuru kiafya bado ni sisi ni gharama katika afya. Inatoa kwenye mfuko wetu pia.
A vasectomy is a form of male birth control that cuts the supply of sperm to semen. It's done by cutting and sealing the tubes that carry the sperm. And this vasectomy has a low risk of problems and can usually be performed in an outpatient setting under local anesthesia.
Once the vas is identified, there is a local infiltration that is being done to the site. It is a scalpelless. You don't need to make an incision. Then it is being identified, pulled up by a specific instrument that is found in a vasectomy set. Then it is being ligated from both sides. Once you ligate both sides, you cut.
While it is a relatively simple procedure, not many men have embraced this form of family planning. And in the 2 counties of Kwale and Kilifi, only 4 have undergone the procedure, 2 in each county. Reproductive health practitioners say culture remains the biggest hindrance in the uptake of the same.
For vasectomy, a lot of social, cultural factors surround that particular method. Some men have spoken and said, how will be my performance? You know, my sexual performance, will it be affected by the fact that I have had a vasectomy done on me? And so there's that aspect, the fear, fear of unknown. How will it be after this is done? Is there something that will be taken away from me?
Richard says this is not a point of concern, at least for him.
Oh God. Biashara inaendelea kama kawaida. Biashara inaendelea kama kawaida. Hakuna kilichopungua.
That reassurance notwithstanding, less men are recorded to have undergone the process. The Kenya National Bureau of Statistics Economic Survey released in 2024 indicated a downward trend in the number of men seeking these services. The data indicated that only 389 male clients sought vasectomy services in Kenya in 2023, down from 658 the previous year. Reproductive health advocates say more needs to be done to get men to buy into this method of family planning so as to ease the pressure on the women who may not be compatible with some of the methods on offer.
It is an African setup that women are there to give birth to children for the man. So that mentality, that thinking, it needs to be tackled and it needs to be erased from the minds of my colleagues, okay, as men. So, and we are doing that through the advocacy.
Brenda Wanga, Citizen TV.
A family in Ngong is seeking justice after their son Dismas Kogo was attacked by a pack of hyenas. Kogo, a security guard who lost a finger and sustained leg injuries, says he had applied for compensation from the Kenya Wildlife Service last year, but has been unsuccessful. Francis Ode with the details.
It has been 5 years since Dismas Kogo became disabled after losing a finger and injuring his leg in a face-to-face encounter with hyena in Ololua Forest, Ngong, while returning from work. Dismas Kogo now claims that despite receiving this letter from the Wildlife Service on May 6, 2024, promising compensation, no cash has hit his account.
So kwa hiyo wakati nilikuwa nimeingia tu kidogo, nilikuwa nimefika somewhere hapa hivi. So zilinikonganga nikaanguka chini. Nilikonganga chini nikaanguka mahali kama hapa hivi. Sasa ilikuwa nataka kuniingiza hapa ndani. Kwanza hapa ndio kidole ilienda hii ya kwanza. Na hii tena bado ikaponea. Na hii ikakuwa na injury.
Kogo took us to the forest area where he was attacked by 2 hyenas who nearly ended his life.
So kazi yenye nilikuwa nafanya tu hapa sasa ilikuwa ni kupigana, ndio in case isishike mali delicate kama tumbo, kichwa. So kidogo kidogo walikuwa na wakimbiaji walikuwa wanatoka. Unaona ile barabara pale, walikuwa wanakuja 13, walikuwa wanakimbia wakienda hivi. Walikuwa wanakimbia wanaenda wanatokea Matasia wakienda hivyo. So walinipata kama nimekaa chini hapa.
Even after being handed these documents showing that 30% of his compensation had already been disbursed, no money has been credited to his account.
So mimi nilistuka nimepigiwa simu niende na sijaona pesa kwa account. Nini? Wakaniambia labda this time round system imekuja mbele alafu pesa baadaye. Kuanzia Mei, kitu yenye siku ya kwanza yeye alikuwa ameniambia compensation yangu ni kitu kama 1 million. Ndio saa hizi ndio nakuja kustuka, kumbe hata ilikuwa supposed kuwa 1.6. Kwa sababu aliniambia baadaye tena ni 1.6. Ndio nashindwa ni nini inaendelea kwa sababu kuna transparency kabisa.
We proceeded to the headquarters of Wildlife Service in Nairobi to uncover the truth. Our efforts to get answers from the Wildlife Service office after submitting our inquiries were unsuccessful. It is at this point within Ololua Forest that Dismas was attacked by a hyena. 5 years later, Dismas' accounts read 0, even after getting documents to prove that he was compensated. Ode Francis, Citizen TV, Ololua Forest, Ngong.
The Safaricom Sambaza Furaha campaign continued with its tour of the coast region, with hundreds of customers turning out for the celebrations. Residents who visited the Mamangina waterfront and the Pirates Beach were rewarded as the Safaricom Sambaza Furaha caravan made stops in the area. Miriam Nyambura with more from Mombasa.
A mammoth crowd at the Mamangina waterfront and Pirates Beach. It was all song and dance as the Safaricom Sambaza Furaha caravan made its way here on the final day of the campaign. Residents received bags of goodies ahead of the festive season.
Safaricom Sambaza Furaha caravan has been an incredible journey since we began over 35 days ago in Narok. Really excited for our customers. They've been able to engage with us. We've touched over 300,000 customers on ground.
Nimefurahia sana siku ya leo kwa sababu ilikuwa tu chance kiasi nikaenda kuparticipate, bahati mzuri nikajishindia. Hii mbuzi nitaichinja krisi. Unga chapo pia niko nayo hapa. Ni chapo na nyama, chapo na nyama. Nimo-invite nyi wote.
Safaricom has expanded its reach during the month-long campaign in partnership with Royal Media Services.
Together with the RMS platforms, we've reached over 25 million customers countrywide. It's a spirit of Christmas. It's really enjoying with our customers and telling them thank you for the 24 years that we have been together. They have supported us.
I believe that Raw Media Services, with the greatest past partnership with Safaricom, I really believe that we have not only marched, but we have surpassed the goal that we intended to initially. And I'd say that's quite a great partnership because of we come from a point of mobilization. We come from a point of we are loved all over the country. And we were talking about the reach.
During the Sambaza Furaha campaign, the giant Teleco launched franchise shops to bring services closer to the people. The Gede Safaricom shop in Kilifi County, the latest to be launched.
We've managed to open about 100 shops across the various regions, about 25 shops per region. But in overall, so far up to date, Safaricom has opened over 600 franchise shops. That is within our mission of making sure that, we are bringing services close to our customers and they're not having to travel long distances to be able to access services from us.
As the curtains fall on the 5-week-long Sambaza Furaha campaign, Safaricom has reaffirmed its commitment to the over 28 million customers to offer better services and positively impact their communities across the country. Miriam Nyambura, Citizen TV, Pirates Beach, Mombasa.
We take a break on Sunday Live, but Citizen Planet comes first. For many years, Oloitoktok in Kajiado County has been widely associated with being the country's food basket. However, the bumper harvest seems to be dwindling owing to perennial soil erosion, which has negatively impacted productivity. To deal with the problem, farmers in collaboration with an environmental organization have devised ways to curb massive land degradation to increase food production. The following story was produced by Robert Masai.
A glance at a distance is a picture of normalcy. A land that is rich in fertility for food production. This is Oloitoktok in Kajiado County. Kiboi Kawele is working hard in his farm. This has been his routine for the past 2 weeks. His efforts, he hopes, will enable a bumper harvest. But the 46-year-old farmer is a worried man. Perennial soil erosion and land degradation is a thorn in his and many farmers' flesh in this area. The land, which has been arable for years, is no longer promising. Locals here also blame massive deforestation as one of the contributors to their predicament in this region.
Tumeanza kuotesha hata matunda, nyasi tunapata faida kwa sababu tunakatia ng'ombe. Na udongo haiendi na chakula imeanza kuimarika. Tunalima chakula hata ukiweka maji, kwa sababu sisi tunaweka maji, hakuna udongo unaenda, inafika hapo kwa hiyo mtaro na inabaki hapo.
Ilikuwa ni area nzuri sana kwa sababu ilikuwa na miti mingi sana. Yote kulikuwa na miti, yani ilikuwa ni pori. Na wakati ule mashamba ya kilimo kulikuwa tunapata chakula cha kutosha.
Most pieces of land are lying fallow.
Mashamba yetu yalikuwa yanaelekea katika hali ya kupotea kabisa, manake ilikuwa inaelekea ambapo labda mwisho tungekuwa imebaki kuwa ni jiwe tu ambalo halingetusaidia.
It is as a result of these climatic changes that the community, more so farmers, have decided to make a difference in conserving their environment through collaborations with partners. Men and women, both young and old, join hands in one of their colleagues' farms, digging trenches and erecting gabions to mitigate challenges they are grappling with as Oloitoktok farmers.
Sasa natarajia kuotesha nyasi ya kufaidi mifugo yangu, miti ya kufuta mvua, matunda ya kunifaidi hata kwa nini yangu, mahitaji yangu ya kila siku.
The adverse environmental conditions has prompted a unity of purpose among farmers. This group has been sensitized for months on how to incorporate sisal planting to stem soil erosion and maintain the area's topography.
Kile kilifanya pia tuchague makonge. Makonge ikikuwa inakuwa kubwa na inakatwa. Ikikatakatwa inatoa zinaitwa nyusi ama whatever you call. Hizo zinauzwa. Na zikiuzwa wamama wanapata mapato.
A multifaceted approach has been activated in the area and its environs, including Amboseli. It's a race against time as construction of gabions gains momentum to salvage the situation.
This has been a really success, and we noticed that when we started, quite a number of farmers have adopted the technique within the farms. The other measure we are undertaking is use of gabions and also use of earth moons, earth band, also called earth moons. This we are doing within the rangelands. Largely, these are largely degraded through overgrazing, and so we are trying to create earth bands.
Loitoktok has for years been known to supply maize, beans, tomatoes, onions, as well as a variety of fruits. The newly incorporated efforts aiming at ensuring that supply chain remains unbroken. The newly incorporated efforts aiming at ensuring that supply chain remains unbroken. Mashirima Kapombe, Citizen Planet.
Now we take that break on Sunday Live. Thank you for staying with us on Sunday Live. A report by the Kenya Forestry Research Institute, KEFRI, that revealed that 6 million eucalyptus trees were felled between January and June of 2024 has got the attention of environmentalists who are now calling on the government to impose a moratorium on the export. According to the report, the export of trees, mostly aged 5 to 6 years, was primarily driven by demand from the Asian economic giants. Environmentalist and the Green Thinking Action Party leader, Dr. Isaac Kalua, says Kenya is staring at a crisis of monumental proportions, adding that Kenya may be manipulating its forest cover numbers. Dr. Kalua has also criticized the government's proposal of expanding a road that runs through the Karura forest, saying the country risks losing its valued forest to cartels and land grabbers.
Specific comprehensive framework to regulate eucalyptus harvesting and ensure sustainable forestry. This is lacking. And not only in eucalyptus, in many other products. Are we in lack of what we can call ideas and innovations, where you can create roads above the existing roads? You are talking of 51 acres. Upwards of that road, you have hundreds of acres that you can use without messing up a world forest that makes Kenya to be most respected.
Leaders from Marsabit County are now encouraging the pastoral community to embrace culture and use it to spread peace and cohesion. PS Harsama Kello says this will not only help ease tension among the communities, but also help them share available resources amicably. He spoke during the Burji Cultural Festival held in Nairobi.
Members of Burji community congregated at the Bomas of Kenya in a night full of color and energy. In their signature choice of fabric, irrespective of their age, gender or social standing, they all met on the floor or they stand to honor their rich culture. The event also served to pass along the community's rich oral traditions to the younger generations. But beyond the merrymaking, the community's leaders also took the opportunity to preach the gospel of peace and cohesion.
Na tumeona njia moja nzuri ya kuleta hawa jamii pamoja ni njia ya utamaduni. Kwa sababu utamaduni ya pastoralists wengi ambao wanaishi Northern Kenya iko na umuhimu ya usalama, iko na inasisitiza ujirani mwema.
Hapo mbeleni unasikia community against community wanapigana. Na sababu ya kupigana hakuna. Leo culture kama hii inaleta watu pamoja.
With insecurity, but that narrative has to change. And one way of changing that narrative is through cultural events like this one. This is one of the most vibrant cultures we have come across. And in that hall, all communities in Marsabit, Isiolo were represented. I think we were three of us from Tana River. There was somebody from Garissa. So that tells you that culture is a melting point of overcoming this conflict.
The leaders called on the residents of the larger northeastern region to learn to share the resources found in the region for the benefit of the communities. They also advocated for the leaders from the region to set aside their political differences and work together to foster development in the region.
It's time now for the sports news after this break. Shabana FC shocked FKF Premier League leaders KCB after beating the Bankers 2-0 at the Gusii Stadium on Sunday. Brian Mishira opened the scoring for the Glamour Boys in the 30th minute before young star Austin Odongo doubled the score in the 9th minute. Elsewhere, Ryan Wesley Ogam scored a brace for his 12th league goal at Tusker FC as Tusker FC fried Bidco United 2-1 at the Dandora Stadium. Ogam scored his first of the game in the 11th minute before adding the second in the 59th minute. Bidco scored their consolation goal in the 90th minute through Simon Monala. In other results, Bandari FC got a point against Mathare United in a 2-2 draw as Muranga Seal sealed a 1-0 win against Posta Rangers at the St. Sebastian Park in Muranga.
Oka Douglas anawenua nafasi kwake Abuko.
National Super League side Kibera Black Stars stunned table toppers Nairobi United 3-1 in a thrilling match staged at the Dandora Stadium on Sunday. Nairobi United took an early lead through Duncan Odhiambo before Kibera levelled through Bruce Achesa. Ange Donald added 2 more goals, sealing a memorable win for the visitors. In Mombasa United were awarded 3 points and 2 goals after Vihiga United failed to show up for the fixture at the Serani Sports Ground. Nzoia Sugar settled for a 1-1 draw with Kisumu All-Stars as Migori Youth beat 3KFC 1-0 at the Migori Stadium.
Getting the maximum point from the league leaders is also something positive from my players. So moving forward, we think we have the character to be on top there. And I just need to encourage my boys to keep on doing the good work, getting the maximum points in each and every game that we encounter.
First and foremost, kudos to the opponents. Well-deserved win again. It's a marathon. We still have once again go back. We still have another match over the weekend against Moroni. The difference is how we approach the match.
Paul Teye claimed a thrilling victory at Saturday's Battlefield Warriors powerlifting competition in Nairobi, narrowly beating Joshua Muna, who finished second, and Kennedy Mutuka in third place. In the women's event, Mercy Obiero defended her title after setting 2 new Kenyan records. Our reporter Emmanuel Ndungo with the report.
National records were broken today in the Battlefield Warriors powerlifting event here in South B. Both men and women pushed their limits in the squat, bench and deadlift.
The year-ending event began with Jane Ann squatting a huge 220 kilos for a new Kenyan record. Paul Teye lifted 330 kilos before attempting the men's record, but ultimately came up short.
So I tried out the 345. I thought it will be the national record, but something happened because of the long day, and I failed for the squats.
I feel nice. I feel excited. Yeah, it's the resilience and hard work and commitment.
Both the men's and women's national records were broken in events too. Mercy Obiero benched an impressive 100 kilos, while Kennedy Mutuka put a whole 20 kilos on the previous best, bringing it up to 200. It all came down to the final event in both competitions, and Mercy Obiero saved her best for last, bettering her own national and East African record with a 242.5 kilo deadlift. Paul Teye also sealed victory by pulling 320, 10 kgs ahead of the pack. The exceptional performances displayed on Saturday showed just how much Kenya has to give in this sport. However, the country still doesn't have an active federation supporting it.
If the government can do something about the powerlifting federation, whereby we can be able, or at least be able to go outside to compete, it can be very good for this country.
For Citizen TV, I'm Emmanuel Ndungu.
Beatrice Soy was the overall winner in the inaugural Dr. Peter Ndegwa and Friends Golf Tournament, which was held on Saturday at the prestigious Muthaiga Golf Club. Playing off handicap 27, Soy showcased stellar form and took advantage of the favourable weather to post an impressive 45 Stableford points, outclassing a field of more than 200 golfers. Her consistency on the course was evident as she recorded 23 points on the front 9 and followed up with another 22 points on the the back nine. In the ladies category, Joanne Kanjenjo claimed the top prize with 35 points as Benson Theory outscored Naufal Cocker by a single point to win with 41 points in the men's category.
It's a rare moment that I'm standing in front of this team here. Thank you so much, Safaricom, Peter and friends for the sponsorship. Today was a very nice day because I had great company of Merim Bataru, Chege Njoroge and David Ombisa.
Today we are sponsoring as Safaricom and calling it Peter and Friends. We've always sponsored golf and other sports for the past 24 years. It's an opportunity to sambaza furaha as we are sambazaring furaha across the country. Golfers, a very appreciative crowd, might surprise many, but it's fantastic to see more than 200 golfers coming to play today and enjoying themselves, especially as people gear up to go for the break, both Christmas and New Year.
Thank you for keeping us company on Sunday Live tonight. I've been your host, Olive Burrows. Our sign language interpreter has been Belinda Adhiambo. We wish you a good night and a Merry Christmas.